If you saw John D. Rockefeller's personal bank account on the day he died, you would be absolutely shocked. Why? Because on paper, the richest man in history was practically broke. He owned almost nothing. No stocks in his own name. No massive estates. No billion-dollar checking account. But here is the secret that will change how you look at the world forever. He didn't own it, but he controlled every single cent of it. Most people spend their entire lives trying to own things. You want your name on the deed, your name on the title, your name on the bank account. Rockefeller knew that was an amateur move. Ownership makes you a target for the IRS, a target for lawsuits, and a target for inflation. Ownership is a liability. Control is power. Control makes you a ghost. My name is Nick, and today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the invisible empire. This is a 25-minute masterclass on how the ultra-wealthy use trusts, foundations, and private banking to live like kings while technically appearing broke to the system. If you've ever wondered why billionaires never seem to have a job but always have a private jet, this is the answer. We're going to break down the exact blueprint Rockefeller used to build a dynasty that has lasted over a century. Let's get to work. The average person thinks a trust is just a fancy way to leave money to your kids, so they don't blow it on sports cars. That is wrong. A trust is not just a will, it is a legal fortress. Think about your life right now. You own your car. You own your house. You own your laptop. If you get into a car accident tomorrow and someone sues you for $5 million, they are coming for your name. They check the public records, see what you own, and they take it. Rockefeller pioneered a model where he moved his wealth into entities that outlive humans. He famously said, "Own nothing, control everything." While your 401k or your savings account is tied to your heartbeat, a Rockefeller trust is a 100-year machine. It is a separate legal person that never dies, never gets sick, and never gets sued for a personal mistake. When a trust owns your assets, you become the manager or the trustee. You still live in the house, you still drive the car, you still spend the money. But when the lawyers or the IRS come knocking, you look them in the eye and say, "I don't own that. The trust does." Phase 1 of becoming a titan is a shift in your identity. Stop trying to be the owner. Start becoming the controller. This isn't just about protection, it's about tax efficiency. In many jurisdictions, assets held in a properly structured trust aren't subject to the same brutal estate taxes that wipe out 40% of a family's wealth every generation. Rockefeller didn't just build a company, he built an entity that the government couldn't touch. Here is where the math gets truly offensive to the middle class. When the average person needs a new car or a business loan, what do? They go to a big bank, they beg for a loan, and they pay that bank 7%, 10%, or 15% interest. When Rockefeller needed capital, he didn't go to a bank. He went to himself. The ultra-wealthy use a strategy often called infinite banking or private credit. They fund massive, specialized life insurance policies or private equity funds that they control. They put their money in, let it grow tax-free, and then they borrow against their own capital. Compare these two worlds. The worker's way. You pay interest to a stranger at a bank. That money is gone forever. The Rockefeller way. You borrow from your own fund. You pay the interest back to your own fund. You are literally paying yourself to be rich, while your neighbors are celebrating a 2% cash back on their credit cards. The 1% are recycling their own debt to create 15% compounded returns. Rockefeller knew that the person who controls the flow of credit controls the world. Even if you only have $1,000, you can start this. You start by shifting your mindset from a borrower to a lender. Every time you pay interest to someone else, you are losing. Every time you capture that interest for yourself, you are building your empire. By the end of this video, you'll understand that debt isn't your enemy, paying interest to others is. Why does a billionaire pay less in taxes than a nurse or a teacher? Is it a loophole? Is it cheating? No. It's because they are speaking a completely different language. The middle class earns income. Income is the most heavily taxed thing on the planet. The government takes their cut before the money even hits your bank account. You get what's left over, and then you try to live your life. Rockefeller didn't earn income. His entities earned revenue. If you earn $100,000 as an employee, the government takes roughly $30,000 immediately. But if a corporation earns $100,000, it follows a different set of rules. A corporation is allowed to spend its money on business expenses first. It pays for travel, computers, offices, cars, and research and development. Only after it has spent that money does it pay taxes on what is left. If you spend everything the company makes on growing the company and its influence, your taxable profit is zero. The rich don't hide their money, they just ensure every dollar they spend serves a business purpose. Your vacation isn't just a vacation, it's a board meeting to discuss international expansion. Your SUV isn't just a car, it's a marketing asset for your brand. When you live your life through a corporate shield, your lifestyle becomes a tax-deductible expense. You aren't avoiding taxes, you are following the rules that the government wrote to encourage business growth. Modern schools were designed by the industrialists, including Rockefeller himself, to produce one thing: obedient workers. He famously said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." The worker mindset is simple. Get a degree, get a job, save for 40 years, and die. The Titan mindset is, learn the tax code, learn debt, learn systems, and live now. Rockefeller spent more time teaching his children how to manage money than how to make it. Why? Because making money is a skill, but keeping it is a science. He taught them that the person with the most assets wins, not the person with the highest salary. If you have kids, stop teaching them how to get an A in history. Start teaching them how to read a profit and loss statement. Start teaching them what a basis is and why they should never sell their assets. The real 100-year education isn't found in a university. It's found in the ledgers of the world's most successful families. They don't teach you this in school because if everyone knew how to be a titan, there would be no one left to work in the factories. Building an invisible empire isn't about greed. It's about protection. It's about opting out of a system designed to keep you on a treadmill until you're 65 years old, only to hand you a tiny fraction of what you earned. You don't need $1 billion to start today. You just need to change your perspective. Stop trying to own everything in your own name. Start looking for assets that pay you while you sleep. Stop paying interest to banks and start becoming your own source of credit. Rockefeller's greatest legacy wasn't the oil. It was the blueprint. He showed us that wealth isn't about what you have, it's about what you control. Most people will watch this 25-minute video, think it's interesting, and go right back to their 9 to 5. They will stay visible and they will stay taxed. But a few of you are going to go open your first LLC or your first trust tomorrow. You are going to start shifting your assets into your invisible empire. If you're one of those few, stay tuned. We're going even deeper into the corporate shield in the next video. Hit that like button if you're ready to stop being a worker and start being a titan. My name is Nick, and your empire starts now.